I'm Jerry Sandusky, and these are the rules of engagement, how to have more impact in the front of the room. In this video, I'll show you 3 ways to use questions in your presentations to have more engagement with your audience. Questions are a great way to get a quick and deep connection with your audience. Here's 3 ways you can use questions to increase your engagement with your audience. Technique number 1, use a question that points to your audience's pain. For example, how many of you have ever sat down to do your taxes and felt that uneasy feeling in the pit of your stomach that this wasn't going to be your day? Almost everybody has had that experience, and so the hand is going to come up, and right out of the gate, in the first minute of the presentation, you've created a connection. Technique number 2 with questions is to ask a question that piques the audience's interest. Have you ever wondered if bees would stop stinging people in the summertime if bees knew that by stinging a person they would hurt the person, but they would kill themselves? The reason you use a technique like that isn't to answer any questions, it's really just to get their attention. It puts them on alert, which in turn gives them your attention and gives you their attention so that you can proceed into the presentation with everybody back on the same page. The third technique is to ask your audience a question that takes them back in time to an experience you know they've had. Here's an example. Do you remember the first time you looked your spouse in the eyes and it took your breath away? Now, anybody in your audience who has a spouse has had that moment. So right out of the gate, you have created a connection between yourself and each member of the audience, as well as each audience member with each other. So here's the key to all 3 of those techniques. You never want to ask a question that you don't know the answer to. Just like a great trial lawyer, you always ask a question that you know the answer to. You're not going for the answer, you're going for the connection. And that's why you use a question, because the question sets up the condition that you already know exists that brings you and your audience to a quick level of, I got you, you're just like me. Once you have that connection, you are ready to rock and roll with the rest of your presentation. On the topic of questions, below this video in the comments box, leave me a question you have about presentation skills, a question that I'll look forward to answering in a future edition of the Rules of Engagement. For now, the hay's in the barn.